Hi guys, welcome back to Algebra 1. Today's lesson is over graphing a line. So the learning objectives for today are as follows. These are the things that I want you to know before the video is done. Students will graph a line using the slope and y-intercept. Students will graph a line using the slope and any point. And students will graph a line given 2 points. So let's start off with the easiest, and we're going to jump straight into graphing a line given 2 points. So like I said, graphing a line with 2 points is the easiest thing to do, because in order to create a straight line, all you need is 2 points. If they give them to you, all you got to do is know how to graph points. So in this example, they give us the points negative 3, 2, and 4, 5. On our graph, we're going to first plot negative 3, 2, which is here in orange, and then plot 4, 5, which is shown in blue. Now that I've got 2 points, I'm going to basically connect them and draw a line from one side of the graph to the other all the way across that crosses through those 2 points with my ruler, which is going to look something like this. And please make sure that you draw the arrows on either end, because this line goes on forever because the x and y axis go on forever. Now let's talk about slope and intercept again, and we're going to go back to the y equals mx plus b equation. If we're given an equation, we need to solve for y, and then from there identify the slope and y-intercept. We're going to talk about what the slope actually means physically on the graph. The slope tells us two things. It tells us the rise and the run, how far up and how far over we need to travel to get from one point to the next. For example, if I have something that has a slope of 3/8, the rise is on top, the run is on bottom. A positive rise tells us to go up, a positive run tells us to go to the right. And the opposite is true of negatives. A negative rise goes down, a negative run goes to the left. So what that means is, if I'm trying to go from one dot to the next, one point to another, I have to go up 3 squares and over 8 squares, as you can see here on my graph. Now in the case that we're given a y-intercept, we have to know what that means as well. The y-intercept is where we begin graphing our line. It's on the y-axis. Therefore, it's going to have a coordinate of 0, b. Always 0 for the x, and then b is going to be the number that they give us for the y-intercept. For example, if we have a y-intercept of 3, that corresponds to the point 0, negative 3, which means our graph of our line is going to start on the y-axis at 0, 3, as shown by our blue dot. Now let's take a look at how to graph a line with only the slope and a point, not the y-intercept yet. So I want you to graph a line with a slope of negative 2/3 that passes through the point negative 5, 4. So we always start off by graphing our point, but let's first identify what the slope wants us to do. So in this case, the slope is negative 2/3. The rise is negative, so this time it goes down, and the run is positive, so it goes to the right. We start off by graphing the point negative 5, 4, which is shown here in blue. And from there I go down 2 spaces, and then I'm going to travel to the right 3 and draw my second point. Now I've got 2 dots, so I can connect those 2 with a line using my ruler. So to reiterate, I always start with my point, and then from that point, my slope tells me where to go to get to my second point, which at that point, I have 2 points I can graph the line. Now let's look at how to graph a line with a slope and the y-intercept. So I'm given an equation here, negative 5 plus 3/4 x. I've got to go through and I've got to identify the slope and intercept. The slope is next to x, so the slope is positive 3/4. The y-intercept is the constant, which is negative 5. So my y-intercept tells me that my starting point is 0, negative 5. My slope tells me to start at 0, negative 5, go up 3 spaces, and to the right 4. So there's my y-intercept, 0, negative 5. I'm going up 3 spaces, and then I'm going over 4, I draw my second point, and then I connect the two with a line. That completes our video lesson. At this point, you should know how to graph a line using the slope and y-intercept. You should know how to graph a line using the slope and any point. And you should know how to graph a line given just 2 points.